Colley X. What does the X mean?
Whatever it means for Athena.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Hello and welcome to Throwing Drinks Revisited. On these Friday episodes, Maggie, me, and a funny friend join the podcast and go back through the archives, the rich history, tapestry even, of Real Housewives from around the world and find iconic episodes. Today, our guest is a wonderful performer, a wonderful comedian, and a wonderful friend, James Colley. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me. That's a very nice intro.
Yay! I love introducing people as friends now. Alice Tovey was opening for me at my Fringe show, and I was like, guys, most importantly, she's a wonderful friend.
It's a networking opportunity as well as an intro.
It really,
yeah.
It's always a networking opportunity. But hello, thank you for coming. We've had your wife Miranda Tapsell on to discuss some of the hottest topics of 2023, Rachel Leviss and Bethany Frankel, and then you popped into both of our DMs a few weeks ago, simply with a Photoshop photo of you in front of the Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge icons. 3 Sydney icons on one photo? Come on now. And we said, is this your pitch for the pod? And you said, yes.
Yes, the Real Housewives of Sydney. Do you know what? I know from living with Miranda, I know so much more than I should about the Real Housewives universe. I know so much about the Scandival. I feel like in turn, like I can name as many dramas in the Real Housewives world as she has by osmosis had to pick up like rugby league storylines or like the name of a basketball player from 5 years ago. Like she's just forced these on each other. This is the real part of marriage that matters.
Yeah, it's very beautiful to witness. Like I come over sometimes to watch Housewives with Miranda, and you kind of just let us have the room, and you come in, you pop in, and you check in every now and again, you freshen our drinks, and you give us the space, and that's what love is, I assume.
I love that because you guys are both like, high achievers in the arts. Miranda's done a lot of highbrow stuff. You've done probably medium brow stuff now and then.
Yeah.
But the two like passions you have are the most lowbrow, smooth brain things: rugby league and Real Housewives. I mean, it's great. It's just a breadth of passions, and it's good to see a relationship thriving on it.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It is nice.
When we sent you the episode that we'd like you to watch, because obviously you weren't coming with a fave episode of yours. When we sent you this episode, you sent back a text being like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is happening? Is this what you expected it to be? Like, having seen it kind of peripherally, is this what you expected Housewives to actually be like?"
So I've seen enough of I've seen so much of Vanderpump Rules, which is much more like young, sexy, running a bar and relationship drama intergroup, like they're all, are we friends, are we fighting, are we dating, blah blah blah. And I've seen a lot of the like the Real Housewives of like Beverly Hills and like your Salt Lake City and your Atlanta. I don't look, I don't like being a cultural cringe person. I think we make great things in this country, but an Australian Real Housewives is so weird to me. Like we'll get into, but there's so much of this that is just, it doesn't sit right with me.
No, it's like what is a square peg into a housewife's hole? It just feels, it does feel weird. It is, but once you push past that and realize these women think it's normal, it makes it for good viewing, they've definitely done their research.
And also, we're doing Real Housewives of Sydney, the first season, which was wiped off the internet. You can't find it on any streaming services. So we had to buy this episode. So we've all spent $3.50 on this episode to own forever. And we did episode 6 of the first season of Real Housewives of Sydney, which is a Persian New Year party. And we're going to get into it. But yeah,
Are we paying Colley back? Or do you want to be the first investor into
I'll buy you a
throwing
coffee,
drinks?
I guess. Yeah.
No, this is we're taking it to the next level. This is my Patreon contribution.
Yeah. This is actually you investing equity. You currently own 1/3 of the podcast. But yeah, we did Persian Party, which the overall theme of it is Maddie, in order to ease tensions between the women of Real Housewives of Sydney, throws a Persian New Year party. And of course, shit goes down. There are many, I don't want to say iconic because I don't feel like this season ever veered into iconic, but there are many notable moments from this from this episode, like people going, "This is a fucking diamond ring," and
So
Lisa
many.
Oldfield just being so crook. But I just wanted to know, Collie, like, what's your first impressions from someone who hasn't seen the full season and from someone who is, on the periphery of the Housewives fandom?
So there are a few things on this. First one, like this episode has a real get to the fireworks factory problem where you're like you open up on Maddie going to what is essentially looks like a Thomas Ducks. Like, do you know how like when you watch like like Mr. In Between or Looking for Ella Brandy or whatever, like it's distracting that they're in a place that you know a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is part of what bugs me about this. That like I'm like, I know that you're just in a bit of Double Bay. That's just Bondi. It's just you shouldn't be
the
here.
drone shot. It's like they've put a drone shot on it. It means it doesn't make it more special than what we actually know is that's a Westfield. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Let's get into that.
We'll get to that.
That's good. Yeah.
And then, but like, so the few things like let's say big picture notes, a couple of it that I like. This is I guess where I get to with the cultural cringe element is I don't know if like what Americans are amazing at is confrontation, and what these shows are brilliant at is confrontation. But this isn't like we aren't built for it in a certain way, or maybe these people aren't, because like Athena Rex is really your cartoonish villain for the series, but all of her slams are kind of like the kind of shit you would pull out in 9th grade if you were fighting with someone.
You're a pain sack. You're a pain sack.
Yeah.
She's a pot plant.
Her big insult for this, like the like, how dare you call Marty McFly chicken of this episode is calling someone Captain Eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's so
Which
good.
then becomes just an iconic like moniker, and I'm pretty sure is it Chrissy Marsh or just Nicole that she says it to. I think she's back in the new season, and I'm pretty sure she's owning the eyebrows.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she's gifted her this perfect thing in this kind of broken way. But yeah, what else? What else do you think, Collie?
Okay, the other things I would say is that so there are things that I expect from a Real Housewives show from what I've seen, which is like the party at night with the argument, the dinner party, and then the like we're going to see the morning brunch that's going through this. This person's running an event. We're all going to go to this event. Like I'm used to these set pieces.
Yeah.
What this show does, I like. Look, maybe I would have if I was across the rest of the season been expecting this, but it's the sudden hairbrake turns from like it goes from like. Okay, here's like, which caviar should I buy? Well, this is a good caviar. Ooh, quite a night. I'm going to test some caviar. This is fun. Anyway, your dad, we've looked through your ancestry and your dad was hit and killed by a car in the early 90s. Anyway, just take that.
Every scene is that there's no continuity to it, no flow. They're just like, we need to get as much as we can out of these women and we'll slap it all together like some kind of club sandwich. It's wild. The fact that gentle, boring scene of tasting caviar just kind of plant the seed of like and then
you can put some gold on the caviar. Wow, it's $1,000 a can.
And straight to Victoria finding out that her dad's dead, but being told on camera by a private detective that your dad's dead is wild, and you've got more brothers and sisters. It's crazy. Like that, the fact that this show failed with all of that juice is wild, really.
And that, like, because she still has to, like, you have to have reality show kind of reaction to it. I noted down one of her lines on this, which is just like lamenting, how horrible. So, like, he was hit by a car while on a bike and
Yes.
died from the injuries. And her line about it is, it's tragedy. I mean, he's so young. Get hit by a car at 90, but not at 40.
Yeah.
Maybe don't get hit by a car at either age.
I like the last line where she goes about the new sister. She's like, Chrissy's like, you should get in touch with her. She goes, yeah, I'll give her a call straight away. I mean, not today. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe the end of the scene.
Yeah. I love it as well because I don't know if you know this about the show, given how massive a fan you are, Colley, about Real Housewives of but I felt like obviously the scene was really trying to humanize Victoria, right? Like, and how can you not feel for her, even in her like clumsy attempts to like grapple with it in real time on camera? But off camera, she just called at a party earlier on that they'd shot in the season. She'd just called one of the production assistants on camera, what is it, stupid little poof, and get away from, like, just proper,
Oh my God.
fucking vile to the production crew. And it was one of those things that, in the way that people talk about this season and this series, is that she came off very well only because there was Athena and Lisa Oldfield who on camera came off worse, but she was absolutely intended to be the villain.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
because of how she was like treating production crew.
That's so funny if they just made up your dad's dead to get back at you.
Oh God. Hope she's not listening.
Yeah.
The Queen of Bondi. I tell you what, I think for me, I can't understand how they fucked this up, because but honestly, this is halfway through the season, this escalation. So usually this would be like a second last episode, so there'd be a bit of resolution. It gets worse. It gets they hate each other in every single scene. They're screaming at each other.
There's so can I ask, there's a couple of things that came up early that I feel like I need to go. So firstly, there's the line right up the top that, like, we're tasting caviar, having a nice like little carrot tasting, and then the reaction is, I'm going to become a lesbian eating this.
God. Yes, I wrote that down too, because I was like, that's her trying to have it. She's like, because of the fishy taste, I don't have to explain that. And it's just so weird.
And then Athena Rex, like, my first introduction, like the first thing I wrote this is like, oh, she's the worst. But then like they're going through like a kind of classic fight after the fight recap where they go like, here's this thing, like, she said this, she said that, and like, of course you bring up things from people's past. You say, oh, she killed an elephant, and my question is, did she kill a fucking elephant?
No, okay, she called herself vegan while she was wearing ivory jewelry.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
And they were like, and the girls called her out on it. I think it was the first or second episode.
Yeah, it was
the
early.
girls immediately called her out on it, being like, well, if you're a vegan, why are you wearing ivory? And then she's interpreted that as they've accused her of killing an elephant.
So it's ridiculous escalations, huge miscommunications. And the episode before, James, was Athena has a real passion to be an artist. And she actually takes her artwork to the John Olsen Gallery?
Yes,
John Olsen?
Which is like very, for Sydney people, it's like very a posh art collector gallery that's over in Paddington, I think.
Yeah.
But the Olsen family are very noted like patrons of the arts in Australia.
So and he doesn't like it. He says that it looks like decorative and she's got a lot of work to do, but someone in production's just like, please just give us the gallery for half a day. And from that, for some reason, Athena's had an art show at this top gallery.
John Olsen gallery.
Yeah. And during that, one of the people didn't show up, Melissa. And it was the same thing. It was just the episode before, they were just screaming at each other, calling each other sluts. Like, it was insane. And so then it goes from that to eating caviar, finding out your mum's dead, doing a styling session at Westfield.
Oh my god!
Oh, the Westfield styling session.
It's so
Can we
good.
talk about that?
It's so good.
So Lisa and Athena go to. Athena decides to get a styling session together for Lisa Oldfield, wife of David Oldfield, founder of the One Nation Party. Anyway, as a way to humanize her, because Lisa and David are having problems in their marriage, Athena organizes this styling session at Westfield in the city of Sydney. And it's, again, so funny because that room's just next to the food court. Like, there's nothing glamorous.
No, and the brands are really like, she's like, oh, up here I've got Zara. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I've written Saba, Karen Millen, and Carla Sampati, which is...
Which is a Garden Variety David Jones,
Let's get the
That's
champers out.
Yeah. Do you know what I noticed as well is that the stylist herself was drinking?
Yeah, I noticed that too. That was weird. I know. When she handed her glass back to the assistant, it's just like, let's get this done, ladies, and puts like this silk pussy bow top on her with striped like pants, and she's like, yes, corporate chic. Pop the cape on.
Yeah.
In fairness, I think the cape was the best thing out of all the things she tried on.
I just think Athena was dressing her how Athena dresses.
Yeah.
And Lisa was always going to be like, yeah, no, I don't like this. I mean, fuck, it frustrates me because Lisa had some great lines where she's like, you know, I wear skinny jeans. I don't want my labia popping out. Like, I don't want to look like I'm smuggling yo-yo.
Yeah.
That was an absolute banger of a line. Like, that was actually for fucking bar.
Yeah.
You know, like, that was great.
Yeah. She's got like some good comedy timing, but it doesn't really make up for the rest.
My note for this was that they all look like they're dressing to cause a scene at a soccer presentation in an RSL. I expect for these shows, maybe it's because I'm watching the LA ones or whatever, but like there's a certain level of glam, I would say, like at least like cocktail glam. Let's say I don't mean class, I mean like expensive outfits and stuff. And this just it is kind of in that thing of like how even the upper echelons, and maybe especially the upper echelons of Sydney, are still kind of at their best in about 1995.
Yeah.
Like
the corporate chic. Yeah, absolutely.
There's still a yawning divide between, and I think it's also just how Australians perform wealth, whereas like America, they really love performing wealth. They love putting on a show. It's like head to toe designer, it's big cars, and it's flashy. Whereas like I feel like Australians are not good at this show. Well, this show, we've talked about how Melbourne is its own thing. It's really fun, but in terms of like the aesthetics, I feel like Australian wealthy people still have this kind of element of like landed gentry, like that they're rich, but they still need to at some point strap on the RMs, get on the horse, and go check on the like livestock or something. See that the cowboys have like attended to the children properly. I don't know, but it's just like there's something about it that it's not. Yeah, it's wealth, but it's not glam. You're so right, Colley.
It is, and I feel
also,
like
can I just say,
like,
Colley, congratulations on buying a house at the airport.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you could hear that because the plane was like just there, and I was like, "Oh wow!"
I'm just like waiting for. I'm like, because Colley's under the same flight path as me, so
Oh.
I'm like, why aren't I hearing the planes, but Colley's hearing the planes?
That's funny.
Surely they should be coming through my mic first.
Can we go back to one of my favorite scenes in it is not just so when Nicole confronts Athena. And comes in and Athena just abuses her for 30 minutes.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that Nicole confronts Athena. It's that Athena invites Nicole to a drink.
Yeah.
To discuss the charity they're meant to be working on together.
Yeah.
And then Nicole doesn't even order a drink. And then Athena
abuse.
goes in.
It's just straight abuse. It's just what she
For
looks like.
so
You're
long.
a loser. You've got Captain Eyebrows. What's longer? Why are you looking at me like that? You're a pain
You should
sack.
call yourself Little Miss Perfect.
Yeah, and Nicole's just
And
sitting
it's
there
so
just
good,
copying
like-
it, just going, "What is going on? Who is this woman?"
And the way the edit works, because they have to like flash back to this later in the episode, they keep coming back, and it's a new Barb that you hadn't heard in the original.
Yeah. And then it goes from that sequence to Nicole having a facial, this poor woman trying to give her a facial, and Nicole recounting what happened to Melissa within the facial room. And you can see this woman trying to like facial around her, where she's just explaining the most like obscene, ridiculous story at the same time. But then we go to like the actual Persian party, which is just one thing that really got me is they're all sitting there and the food comes in and the host says, "Oh, this was made by my sister." So she's got her sister out in the kitchen.
This scene is so strange to me, right? Because there's the walking shot of Athena and Lisa walking into this not restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, I think they're at the Woolloomooloo Finger Wharfs, which are like, it's like a hotel and then also a like apartments and stuff like that. And it's not very, oh yeah, I'll wait for Colley.
So I'm just trying to close any window I can because fuck me, there are some planes flying today.
No, it's so fine. It's like now we've like let people know what's happening, and it's not just
it's all
not
good.
just a fun sound effect we've got going on in the background.
But yeah, they're like clearly walking into the Woolloomooloo Finger Wharfs, and so I'm like, so they're not at a restaurant at the Woolloomooloo Finger Wharfs. It looks like they're at some kind of like commercial kitchen space that they've then just thrown like fabrics up around.
Yeah, it's so weird.
You know, it's so, or maybe it's like someone's apartment that they've rented, like a studio apartment that they've like put decor in and a waiter in.
There's so much decor as well.
This actually felt like across this episode, and like I wonder how much you guys like would have like from production world that like so much of this, like when you watch Beverly Hills, like a lot of the time they're having a drink, like that's all they're doing. Like we're meeting up, we're going to have a drink, we'll have a drink here, we'll have one here, we'll have one here. It seems like every meeting for this show was, and what activity are they doing? And it's not necessary. That's why, like, why are you coming for my facial? Like, if I was like, oh, I'm having a facial at 1 p.m. Great, let's meet there. I'll talk to you while you're on the table.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel, oh God, they're really grasping at straws. They're probably trying to separate them as well.
Yeah, I really feel like they were trying to make it feel more glam by showing them doing stuff that like looks like ooh close. Because that's the other thing I've really noticed in these housewife shows now is like, you know, they'll meet up at a shop and they'll like have a look through thing and they'll try on outfits and like, gosh, doesn't she look glam? And you very rarely actually see them buy anything or walk out with. And so I'm like, is this just like they called a brand and were like, can we use your like thing, like shop for a location today and we'll give you a flat location fee? But then it's like then there's actually no buy-in from the housewives whatsoever, so they don't look rich.
Yeah.
They just look like, I'm like, yeah, I can also go try on try on dresses at the Westfield, like.
And you know the wealth there, Chrissy and Nicole are clearly the richest, and there is a scene, James, that's earlier because Nicole's moved back from London with her kids of them house shopping, and they take her into this insanely big, obviously, and you know, I don't know, where's the wealthy bit of Sydney?
Like Vaucluse or something like that.
And she's just not impressed. And they said, what's your budget? She goes, I don't have one. It's just about finding the right space. Oh, my God. The dream. Yeah. The dream. They find out that's worth, I think it was like 8 million. They're like, the 8 million. And she's just not rattled. She's like, I just don't think it's right for us as a family of 3.
Oh, my.
And later on, also, this is how wealthy she is. So they were living in a rental. And this was revealed during the reunion, which I 100% recommend watching if you have time.
Mm-hmm. It's hosted by Alex
Perry.
Alex Perry.
Great call. Great choice.
Yeah.
And Nicole, it turns out Nicole didn't pay any of her bills in the rental. So all of the amenities got shut off and she didn't know how to fix it because she's never done it in her life. I mean, that's housewife. That's a great housewife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's where you should be.
Yeah, I love Nicole. I think in the right cast, she could really flourish.
That's why I think like this is like annoyingly like upper middle, lower upper, like, you know, it's what you want from these things is mondo rich or trash. Like Jen, you would know this, I think, but you know how like
about being trash
about being trash how I had to perform for the cast of the Shire once, and
no, like, you haven't told me about this. Oh my God. So do you remember The Shire, the TV show?
No. Was it?
Oh my god!
It was a reality show, was it?
Yeah, we tried to do a Jersey Shore here, kind of.
Yeah, and they've tried it a few times as well. Like there was a Gold Coast one. It was about like Maori people that moved to the Gold Coast from New Zealand, and it was called like Mozzies. And it was just like But The Shire, again, if you're not familiar with the like sprawl of Sydney, the Shire is where like the Cronulla riots happened. Like it's a very racially tense place. There's a lot of like old white people. I mean, it's Scott Morrison's old seat, I guess, despite the fact he's from the eastern suburbs but rebranded to be from the Shire. But it's like a thing where it's like historically working class white people, but then a lot of like immigrants move there, so then there's just always been like insane racial tension. Like it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, and they were put like one of the stars of that show were one of the stars of that show were like had like, you know, when they're like, what's your dream or whatever, he was like, I always want to do stand-up comedy. So they put on a fake comedy night for him and whatever. And
where was it?
This is before I really knew the city well. It was in like the first couple years of uni, but it was somewhere around, I want to say like Darlington, somewhere around like the maybe like it was a bar that was not built for comedy. Like they had just taken the top floor and made the space like put a stage in themselves. And so they like, it was a very long, they were shooting a couple of scenes at the night and, you know, doing things like that and then putting on the show. So we're waiting for hours and hours and hours. And then you had a couple of acts up beforehand and they had set up a heckler, but like someone there so they could add tension in the night or whatever. But they didn't tell the comics this was part of the night. And like, I wasn't like, I was still really great. I wasn't like, I hadn't been doing this a long time. I wasn't used to this kind of thing. And I also like, I remember being stressed about like I had uni or whatever the next day. And it had just been going on too long and we weren't getting paid, which was fucked.
That's so fucked up.
That's so weird. And then they like I was doing my bit and then like, and it was going fine. And then a few minutes in, someone like heckled out. I think it was like boring or something like that. Like just some like very mild heckle. But then I was like, I like saw red. I was just like, oh, kill yourself, and then did a decent bit about exactly how this guy should kill himself, and then slowly realized, well, like, oh, that's not usable on a primetime Channel 10 show, and like left the venue and left it quick because they didn't like me. And then luckily for me, the show got cancelled one episode before that was supposed to air. Somewhere in the Channel 10 archives,
sitting there just sort of abuse from James Colley.
Look,
I love that.
I know it's not acceptable in this day and age to say it, but God, I love it when people do it. When people say it on, oh God, it used to be the go-to. I feel about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You just if someone heckled you or was being rude, you tell them to kill themselves, and that's how culture changes.
Yeah, I mean, like bring it back. I think there was like I remember a similar circumstance to that. To the performance you were talking about, which was the absolute delightful Jason Geary, who's a incredible improviser based in Melbourne. I think he was just on Thank God You're Here. And he was also like the face of iSelect for a really long time, like the insurance brand, who was a major sponsor of the Block. And there was like this scene, like this challenge they made the Block contestants do improv, and poor Jason had to teach them how to do it and get it on stage. And he did a really good job. And like, you know, he probably would say that wasn't that bad, but I couldn't. It's just, why do the producers keep thinking this is a good idea? Like, it's just.
To be honest, I've thought about this so much and I would love to do it. Like to be because I used to really love Australia's Next Top Model and New Zealand's Next Top Model. I don't know if you've ever watched any of those, but New Zealand's Next Top Model is so funny because it's around the same time that Australia's Next Top Model was being shot. So like early 2010s, late 2000s, early 2010s. And again, this is like pre-social media. And if you think that the Australian one is bad, New Zealand's fashion scene is like so parochial. And I remember like in the Australian version, the American version, it's like, if you win, you get $100,000. You get flown to Paris to meet with all of the top agencies. Plus, you become the face of insert, like, you get a Vogue
Rimmel.
feature or Rimmel or like something that's like pretty decent, like for someone who's never modeled before. In New Zealand, it was you get the opportunity to fly, all expenses paid, to Sydney, Australia. Also, you become the face for a year of Suzanne's.
It's funny. There's label references that are really funny, and I can't explain it. Suzanne is one. Rex Airline is one. I don't know why that's funny. Definitely Rimmel, and the most funny, I cannot explain it, is Robert Timms, the coffee brand. I don't. Yes. If anyone drops a Robert Timms reference, I can't. I lose it. So specific. Because Ben's gotten onto Robert Timms. We've become a Robert Timms household. And I said, why? And he's like, because I don't know. I just think it's
It's Tim's time, baby.
Robert Timms.
I pulled up at the shops yesterday next to someone in that like Etoria coffee, that like a car painted in that branding, who was just half asleep in the front seat but also smoking a cigarette out the window, just parked in a grocery. I was like, hell yeah, dog, that's the life.
But yes, anyway, I was talking about New Zealand's Next Top Model because there's a challenge where they get Madeline Sami on to teach the girls how to do stand-up. And Madeline Sami is like an amazing character comedian. Like, I haven't really seen her do a lot of stand-up, to be perfectly honest, but as like a comedian, very well. She's like, she's in Deadlock. That's probably the latest thing people have seen her in, but in New Zealand is regarded as like a top character comedian.
Like Breaker Upperers, wasn't she? Breaker Upperers?
Breaker Upperers,
I love
like
that.
lots of cool like movies like that. Anyway, it's her teaching these Kiwi models how to do stand-up at New Zealand's only comedy venue at the time, which is called The Classic, which is just like the worst old blokes doing comedy. Like at that point, it's gotten very cool now. And I was always just like, that's so funny. I would love it if Madeline Sam, like if I got to be that person, I was like, yeah, talk about your pussy more. Like anyway, we've gotten wildly off track from Housewives.
I feel like that's the second dream. We've dropped two Jen dreams. So you want to be on the Amazing Race.
Yep.
And you want to be the teaching stand up to the people on the block or something like that.
To hot people.
These are totally achievable. These are very achievable, Jen.
I know.
You need to start hitting higher, Jen.
But I feel like we should talk about the dinner party a bit more, because I do feel like it is the backbone of this episode. It's also the one I always see shared the most on TikTok. So, yeah.
So, can I just, going in blind to this, like, that there's going to be a conflict over something, like, there's a powder keg ready to go. It was, I would say, civil and like a bite-sized, like, For Dummies guide to Persian culture, much more than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the fight breaks out over the amount of caviar you're allowed to eat.
Oh my God.
And she's just, Athena is just like, oh mate, just eat it. But she throws this insult at Nicole, Nicole doesn't pick up on the insult. She said, you need 2 tins to be satisfied. And for some reason, they caught all the rest, but she mustn't have heard it, went straight over her head. Just blatantly calling her fat to her face, where she is nothing but. She's Miss Australia. Like, it's just wild. She's like, so it's already kicked off for no reason. And also using the spoon. She knew using a metal spoon in caviar changes the acidity and the flavor. She knew
and
doing
ruins
that.
it for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So she knew she was doing that.
Which I will say is a pure Housewives power move. Like, you would only see that on Housewives. Like, wow, she really fucked everyone over by putting a metal spoon in the Iranian caviar, fucking with the flavor profile for everyone.
No, it's not.
And we have to eat it.
It's not Iranian.
We have to eat it.
It's Persian. It's not Iranian. It's Persian. This is Persian.
Sorry.
It's much different. It's glamorous and nostalgic.
Yes.
I did love, though, the point where Maddie was like when everything is devolving and it's a massive fight, it's like, I've gone through hell to put this dinner together. It's like, have you? we've seen you do one bit of play, and it was caviar taste testing.
Yeah, your sister
that
cooked
is
the
all
food.
we've seen.
Yeah, you said your sister cooked the food. It's just, I think that's the problem. Is
I
they're
just love
all,
as well.
sorry, Jen, you go.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, a big problem with this is they're all loud. They're all
Yes.
loud. So can you imagine being the sound editor or the editor in general, trying to get like some kind of cohesion within the edit of what they're saying and dulling down the mics of everyone else to try and get the comments of it? It's just screaming all
and you
the time.
still hear some of the screaming in the other mic takes. So they've clearly gone, okay, we're focusing on this conflict at this end of the table. And then you'll hear Athena screaming about something in the background. And then you go over to Athena's end of the table and you can hear Victoria screaming in the background. Like it's, I don't know. I will say with that caviar thing, the fact that it kicks off with Athena just saying, you don't have to eat it all. You can just have a little. I'm happy just having a little bit. We don't actually have to pig out on. And everyone's like, okay.
And the fact then it segues into just chill, Athena. You're constantly having a jab at us, and she goes, "I've never said anything about what any of you look like," but she's just done it, and then. Yeah. Victoria goes, the first thing you said to me was you called me fat. And there's that really good beat. And then Athena goes, but you are. And he's just like, this woman is insane.
Oh my God.
That's what,
it must be
like
so
when
bad.
we say like year 10 formal kind of like fights, like that's like she pulls out a talk to the hand in this. I haven't heard a good talk to the hand in 15 years.
Yes, exactly. That
talk to my 6-carat diamond, bitch.
Yeah. I think that's when I really fell in love with Nicole, when she stood up and said, I've got an 8.5. What was that? I've got an 8.5, and she goes, yeah, but what grade is it? And she goes, it's
let's have a look at the clarity.
D color. That's the bitch I want to be.
That's probably one of my favorite parts of Nicole. Like I wasn't really. Talking wider about the series, I was never really a Nicole fan. I always found her a bit too fuddy-duddy. But it's when she drops the pretense of like, I'm just trying to keep everyone together and I'm just listening to you and and like when she just finally goes like, fuck you, you mole. Like it's so good.
It's so good.
Oh my God.
It's so
I will
good.
also say as well, I feel like we've talked about it on other episodes of the podcast where all of the housewives often, like on the Scary Island episode, sometimes you have characters like, I would say Athena reminds me a lot of Kelly Ben Simone on the Scary Island thing, where sometimes the other housewives will be like, look, I think something else is going on here and I don't think we should be attacking her. And then they back off. I love that there's no awareness. Like they all have the fucking dog in them in this one and they're like, fuck you. And honestly, the reunion, I watched it recently because I knew we were going to cover this at some point. I watched the reunion with Alex Perry recently and it doesn't get better. Like it doesn't, there is no resolve. There's no healing. And it is quite astonishing that it got this far. Like that.
I don't mean to make fun of the content of this part, but like when we're talking about the handbrake turns in this show where it goes from like a fight to, here's the history of all your dead relatives and this is like a fight over caviar that very, very suddenly goes like you called me fat, you're really mean all the time. Well, you don't know what it's like to watch your father in the hospital after he's been hit by a truck. You're like, do you know what? That is a wild card. I do not know what that's like. You have got me there.
You can tell they all pull back but don't give a shit. They're all like, have you been to therapy? Like, is it something?
Have you been to therapy?
Morning.
I meditate.
I meditate. I get up every morning and I meditate. Well, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Oh my God,
and
yes.
Lisa Oldfield trying to be the voice of reason. Like, fuck off, mate. Like, really? Just go back to your One Nation. Just
I feel like Athena as well, divulging that at that point, it felt very like a producer has gotten in her ear and been like, maybe these women need to know a bit more about where you come from. And so maybe tell them about like how hard you had it growing up, and maybe they'll have a bit more compassion. But she's interpreted that as, this is my get out of jail free card, that if I get too cornered, I can pull my fucking parachute out of this conversation, and then everyone will like me.
Yeah.
But because like that's not how human relationships work.
Yeah, and
people
honestly,
just kind of resent her for being emotionally manipulative.
It never gets brought up again in the rest of the season. Her struggle, it just gets dropped there, and everyone goes, "Oh," and then they just keep going. Like there's no back off. There's no, we need to give this woman space because she's doesn't seem quite there. But in the reunion, she just doesn't, like, you can kind of get a taste potentially of what they were dealing with all the time, which was she does not stop talking. Like she's been asked 3 times by the host to stop talking, and she simply cannot. She just constantly talks, which almost makes me feel like I don't want to paint a card, but potentially Athena's like might be on the spectrum a little bit. Like potentially, I don't know. She doesn't pick up on social cues, or it's a cultural thing, or she's just just a terrible person. I don't know.
I was wondering what is the play of being on the show? Like a lot of the time there is a, here's a brand I'm trying to build, or a personal brand I'm trying to build, or anything of this sort. And I couldn't, just for the way she was attacking the show, I couldn't work out what is the play.
She's She's Lavendi jewelry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there is a big.
There's a lot of Lavendi in it. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the store, but it's literally next to the David Jones in the city. So there's the David Jones on Market Street on one end, and then the Lavendi, I think it's like a Prada store or something, on the other block, and then Lavendi is next to the Prada store in the city. So it's like,
is it in the Westfield? That's where it is?
No, it's a freestanding store.
Okay.
I think it predates the Westfield, honestly. Which again, I'm so fixated on the Westfield because I used to work in that Westfield, and I remember when they were redoing it. Right, it used to be just a really shitty mid-city shopping center at the base of Centrepoint Tower. It was not nice. And I remember they were revamping it. They're like, it's going to be the #1 designer destination in the city, kind of like a Chadston, I guess. Like. And I remember we were told not to leave our bags in our lockers at work because the rats were being stirred up by the renovation because it's right next to Town Hall Station. So there's like a huge rat colony there. And they're like, don't leave your bags. If you need to leave your bags, just leave them behind the desk or something in the shop. Don't leave them in the lockers because the rats have broken into the lockers and they'll chew through your bag in a shift.
Oh my
and
God.
so and so I remember that, and then I just the fucking, again, like it is cultural cringe, isn't it? Because it's too close. Like you can't enjoy it. It's like, Maggie, you were talking about this when we were talking about Real Housewives of Melbourne, where like initially you're like, I don't want to get into this, but I feel like maybe there's some distance or something for the Melbourne one that I just can't get on this one. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, it's in your backyard. It's weird. Yeah.
It is weird.
I also have a note for this, which is I'm Australian, and these Australian accents are fucking unbearable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to them. Yeah, with this kind of context. Yeah, I understand that.
I look, I can say I walked away with this party knowing a lot more about the beautiful Persian culture, and I feel like it did introduce me to that a lot more.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite attempting to back off or like attempting to justify was was the argument over the art show. I mean, the comment that was, I heard your art was shit, but I thought it was good.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I was one. Someone I heard it was shit, and people put it in the dumpster. But
yeah,
exactly.
Oh my God.
I'm just looking up Iran.
Anything interesting?
I just want to find out
going on there.
Is it near this? Yeah, it's got 2 C's attached. Because I was wondering if it's so. It must be. That makes sense. Why it's a caviar.
No,
central.
I'm not surprised. This show is interested in Persian culture. The way they bloody babble on.
Wait.
And more of that good jokes on Question Everything with Will Anderson, kicking off next week, Wednesday nights on the ABC.
Thank you. I am a father.
I do love it. I mean, look, I will say this. I really love about the Sydney one that I do feel like there's a good mix of like people from different cultures. The people are not good. The culture mix, great. I really thought it was like interesting. And again, that's why I like these Australian versions, because I do feel like we don't get just trapped in like waspiness like in some of the American ones. It's like it's interesting. Basically, again, I love loud ethnic women. And anytime they come together, beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great viewing. I'm all for that level of diversity in the cast, as long as they're rich and crazy. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I also think it's quite like the bit where this show shines for me is when it gets more Australian, like when it gets more in these different world, but also like when the phrase "mole patrol" gets dropped. Like that is so much. That's what I want to see. Like.
It's brilliant TV, but this one, I think you hit the nail on the head with why it doesn't work, and it was because there was no continuity, there was no downtime in it where they were getting along. They were never getting along. They were never getting along, and.
Absolutely, and you can't get like it's almost like a wrestling thing. Like they're all constantly heels. They're all constantly the bad guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, I quite like there are conversations in the others that are fun. Like hell, I sat with Miranda and made sure to watch through every episode when I'm sure you've been over this scandal, but one of the housewives being connected to someone embezzling funds intended for the victims of the MH370.
Erica Jane.
Erica Girardi.
Yeah.
And then and then the other housewives having to explain in a way that works for the audience that situation over mimosas is some of the best television I have ever seen.
It's so good.
And that is so much more fun than look, I love the screaming parts, but the screaming parts aren't nearly as fun for me.
That's our thing as well. Like we don't want to, it's not about conflict. The conflict only works when there's purpose for conflict. If you're just having screaming women, I can understand the argument against these shows because it doesn't help anything. It's not good entertainment. It's encouraging kind of that behavior. But if you're yelling about something that has been building, that has, for me, low stakes, high quality, it's very funny. It's like you said, explaining the MH. What is it? 380.
The 370 embezzlement funds
over mimosas. You're not going to get that anywhere else, and it's a glimpse into the world of how these 1% think as well. So we're not all going. They're not our. I wouldn't say they're our heroes. Like you're not watching this saying we're not going to
to be relatable.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fun of it as well. Like I want to see someone who like when she would say like that she's gone through hell to put together that dinner. To me, that's when these shows are the best. When like someone is looking at 6 different types of cream tablecloth, being like, this party has to be perfect and I need the right cream tablecloth. That is so much more compelling for me than the like at each other's throats. Like I want to see that. Like I love like the one where like the season of is it
Beverly
New York
Hills?
Maybe Beverly Hills where fucking Frasier is in the background for
Beverly
a
Hills,
season and then leaves his wife.
First season of Beverly
the Grammars.
Hills.
Camille. She's coming back, by the way. She's
amazing. And Holly Valance is coming on. Is this true?
That was a hot rumor, but I don't think it's eventuated.
Potentially a friend of. So there's like different. There's obviously the main characters, and then there's the main housewives, and then there's a friend of. So oftentimes, sometimes a Kris Jenner will pop up in Beverly Hills, or Denise Richards was a friend of, who then was a housewife for a season. Then
I did love Denise Richards being on there.
I don't think we'll ever see Denise Richards.
Denise
Richards again.
She is. She's coming back for a big one.
Yeah, she's coming back. Yeah.
Holly. It's not for that. It's Holly Candy now, and she's married to like the most rich developer,
the inventor of candy,
Willy
John
Wonka.
Candy.
He's like a property developer worth billions of dollars in the UK.
Yeah.
And so
Tory party donator. True evil, which again, I like that. I like flirting with these insanely evil and influential people. we said on the last episode that like some of these shows are missing like architects of the Iraq War, and it shows like it's like the original New York housewives and stuff like that. But yes, with this
But
one,
that's what I love, like, you know, that like Billy Connolly thing of like people who have a bit of wealth are unbearable and people with a lot are a delight.
Yeah.
Like, and I just love dropping this like 50 minutes into a podcast. When I was talking with Lisa Vanderpump, what I found was that
wait,
we do need to drill into
Let's
this.
do this.
Oh wait, Maggie's
She's
going to a
a
soundboard.
What were you saying?
Your good friend Lisa Vanderpump, you were saying?
Yeah, when I was just FaceTiming with Lisa Vanderpump, like she's a delight. She's so much fun, and it's because like when someone doesn't exist in your world and they don't pretend to,
Yeah,
like they don't pretend to understand it, they don't need to. I love that. That makes them so much more fun than just being like a private school kid.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell us about your Lisa Vanderpump experience?
We've recounted the story. We got a bit out of Miranda as well, but it's great to get it from the horse's mouth.
From firsthand. Tell us how you came to be FaceTiming with Lisa Vanderpump.
Well, I would say like one of the more unlikely animal friendships in the world is that Lisa Vanderpump and Jim Jeffries are very close friends. I was writing for Jim on a show, and so like, and as like I asked Miranda a lot to like I was. Jim's a great storyteller, and he would tell stories about Lisa, like not like all very positive ones of just like here's what's like hanging out with her, or here's some
because he goes to Villa Rosa a lot, right?
Yes, yeah, and like we'll have like be there for her birthday, and like his wife is a big fan of Lisa's, and you know it's an amazing manor with like flamingos and things, so they bring their kid and stuff like so. There's just like he will tell stories about that, and she's a delight, and then we were just in like this is for a quiz show, and where we have these writing days where we're just sitting in and going through the game and you know going through the jokes, and Lisa FaceTimes Jim, who like he then like he's like just like being very professional about like sorry like I need to chat to you later, but I'm just in a meeting right now. But Lisa's like, well, let me talk to everyone. Let me see everyone. I want to chat. And then she asked me, like, do people know me down there? Am I famous in Australia? And I'm like, well, my wife loves you there. This is actually, and then we chatted for a bit about that. And then she wanted to be a contestant on our game show. And we're like, we will organize that in a heartbeat, but you will not enjoy it. This is a 5-hour shoot on an IQ-based game show. You are not going to have a good time.
I would love that. I'd love to see Lisa just wandering in, I'd say an hour late to the 5-hour shoot with one of her small dogs or a miniature pony. Ken's there as well, holding another dog.
Blessed
and then
Ken.
There's some question about a pattern of letters.
I think if you do, it almost feels like out of all of us, you have the best chance of visiting Villa Rosa. Like
Villa Rosa.
If you went over to LA, are you close enough to Jim to be like, want to hang out for a bit?
I reckon I could bother Jim. I don't know if I could get to Villa Rosa.
Right. So we cancelled that. You know, I was just thinking potentially we could get someone in there, but you know, we'll keep hunting. But
that's why we keep our dreams realistic on this show. Let's try and get James on New Zealand's Next Top Model first.
Ooh, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could be the face of Supre.
Yeah. Before, like talking about dreams, what we do with our guests on a Friday, we ask them. So we ask them to pretend that they are a housewife and they have a new product that they're launching, and they've organised a launch party. So, Colley, if you had a product that you're pushing on Housewives, like Rinna's lip kit or something like that, and where would be the party that you'd be inviting us to?
Yeah.
Top floor of the Ivy.
Oh, nice.
Amazing. A Sydney Ivy?
Sydney Ivy.
Oh,
like I'm presuming I have to be in the Sydney housewife.
Yeah, you are a Sydney housewife. Absolutely.
Yeah. Top floor of the Ivy. I'm selling incontinence pads, but glam ones.
Yes.
We have an aging population. You want to look good.
Monty's.
Glam pad.
Yeah.
Glam pad.
Glam pad at the
James
Ivy.
Colley launch.
I'm coming to that.
Incontinental incontinence pads.
I'm coming to that, and I'm going to start a fight with Miranda. That's what it is.
Yes.
And this is what the fight will end up in the pool. Like that's going to be a big event. Like
total New Jersey
Someone
style.
gets shoved in the pool.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you see it from 4 different angles.
It's always the husband. There's a good New Jersey shoving in the pool. Margaret Joseph shoved Jen's husband in the pool, which was it's great, and did a walk away in slow mo. It's a great move, and that sounds like a fantastic party, and I am in 100%.
Hey, can I ask, how much do you do what your, like this may be, we can jump this if it's something that comes up below the podcast, but what your intro lines would be if you got to choose them?
Do you have one?
We've never done one, but do you want to do it? Do you have an intro line?
I do.
Go on.
Yeah.
I am here to make friends.
And
all right, what is
it's always, they need a turn, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone has to.
And I feel like it's like the intonation of it is like da 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 da.
yeah.
Oh God, I gotta think.
I don't know. You've got it's hard, isn't it?
You may call me a Westie, but I'll give your dad a wristy.
Oh,
there we go.
Some might think I'm sad, but actually I'm mad. And I kind of bring like a Joker energy to the franchise. A Riddler, like asking people questions. Everyone's at the poolside party. I'm like, riddle me this.
Well, Colley, it's been an absolute delight having you on. Thank you so much for joining us with.
Thank you for
and
having
thank you for
me.
watching
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you for investing in this.
And thanks for investing in the podcast. We really appreciate it.
First of all, we want to say thank you for bringing speaking truth about, because by taking on this episode, you've pointed out that both Binge and Hey You have removed the first season of Real Housewives of Sydney off any streaming platform. You cannot stream it anywhere. The only way to watch it is by purchasing it for $3.50 off the iTunes store.
Without going too far, it is like burning the Library of Alexandria.
It really is. You're in with the Babylon and the Library of Alexandria. You're a history dad today.
Imagine him on a rugby league podcast. He'd be doing
wearing your Penrith top today, I've noticed. Any big news for Penrith fans this week, Colley?
Yeah, we won a 3rd premiership. I never have to watch football ever again. We've done it. We finished it.
My only interest in it is that Nathan Cleary appears to be dating Mary Fowler from the Matildas. Exciting stuff.
We do a lot of shouting "Do it for Mary" whenever he's taking a conversion. It's good.
That's
a fun
nice. That's nice.
Colley, you have, as I kind of mentioned before, you're a writer on Question Everything. You are also just doing some stand-up spots at the moment, but you also have a book coming out. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it is a romantic comedy based on the big things in Australia, and it's called The Next Big Thing. So it's a little town that are trying to build the next of these big things, as in the big prawn, the big pineapple, the big merino, whichever your local and favorite is. And so I made a small town rom-com based on these. I actually have, this is a very visual example for I'll share with you guys, that our publisher made little badges. So like there's a little badge of the big merino and a little badge of the big prawn that they're sending around now. But like this is available for pre-order now. So hopefully,
fantastic.
You can go and order it on Booktopia, I believe.
Oh, good
Awesome.
one. That's really exciting. I can't wait to. Are you going to do an audiobook? Because I'm a listener.
I believe I just signed off on the audiobook yesterday. So
good.
yeah,
There
there'll
you
be
go.
an
Are you
audiobook
doing
of
the
it.
voice?
I have an in-house actor that I might be requesting to do the narration.
Wait, is it Miranda Tapsell?
No, it's Brando.
Their dog, yeah. Great.
I was like, he's still around. That's great. I mean, I've got an in-house actor if you really want a bit of Michael Caine for the.
Ooh, that's a good.
If you want John Malkovich doing auto narrating your book,
I
you
would
got to
do
get
that
Betty
in a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
Dreams can come true. That's what this podcast is about. It's a dream making podcast. Well, Colley, you have a lovely day, and thank you so much for giving us your lunch break.
Yeah.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you soon.
Catch you soon. Bye.
Bye.